Welcome back to Tier 44 Technologies. Today we are going to demonstrate the rack elevation view offered in EM8 version 5.1 application. I will show you the different ServiceNow forms that hold the information of your equipment along with the rack elevation views with automated space and power capacity generated by Tier 44. Rack elevation is something unique Tier 44 offers in a variety of ways to manage not only your racks but your entire data center. With these graphical views and tools, you can use the application to render a visualization for everything. In order to render the rack elevation and show the table of information on the right with space and power as shown here, you have to know what equipment is contained in the rack and have the proper reference information on the equipment to render such a view with Tier 44. Starting out with the server list of ServiceNow, this shows the list of servers in this particular data center. You can see the name, manufacturer, model ID, operating system, and version with the class for each item. You have all of your servers listed here, but how do you know where they are located in the rack, or where the rack is located in the room? We can click into a server to get more detailed information. Some of it is maintained, some is pulled from Discovery, and the rest is associated with the configuration item with the asset. This specific record is from the CMDB CI server record stored in the CMDB. We have more information, but we still can't answer our previous questions. In the configuration item record, we can also see the associated relationships and configuration of this server. We can also see the dependency view, which shows contained by relationship with equipment and the rack where this server is stored. We can go back and look at more records of this server, such as the ALM asset form, where all information regarding the server, such as financial, contracts, and allocations, are stored. This is also the only place where there are ServiceNow fields that specify the rack location and position, but you still cannot exactly see where that is. This is another default ServiceNow form. We can go into the last form that defines the server by going into the CMDB model ID form. You can notice an additional tab that is Tier 44. We now have at least a visual of our server with a front and back image with allocated power for this device. This is just the start of the rack elevation views offered by Tier 44. If we go back to the configuration item record and click graphical view, which is another add-on with the Tier 44 application, we now render a full visual of our server. We can use the navigation at the top right to now find the location of the server on the rack. This now brings us to the rack elevation view. You have a front and back image of the entire rack and equipment, along with a summary table with the space and power capacity. All of this information is from the 3 records we mentioned. The CI record has the setup, asset record has the location and rack position, and the model record has the image and power. With all of these configured properly, now a server can be added to the rack by creating a relationship. We can go into the relationship builder from Tier 44 to create this manually. It is as easy as searching the server and selecting available interfaces and connecting it. The changes are immediate on the rack elevation view. We can already see the new server that was added. An alternative way to create a relationship to render the equipment in the rack is by going to the ALM asset record and specifying the rack unit position and the rack location. Then a business rule can be created to automatically set up the relationship. Rack elevation views are rendered by Tier 44 when the structure in ServiceNow is set up accordingly. You have space and power aggregations calculated for you to properly manage your rack. If you want to see it yourself with your current rack management, visit the ServiceNow store to request a free trial.